This is Eric Pratt of Gun Owners of America, and I want to thank you for watching. Today I want to talk to you about our greatest opportunity for killing gun control this year. As you know, there are a lot of firearms restrictions coming down the pike, and so we're dusting off our silver bullet, our best opportunity for defeating Nancy Pelosi's anti-gun agenda this year. But more on that in a minute. First, I want to tell you about a mini victory in our lawsuit against the ATF. Now, as we've reported before, Gun Owners of America is suing the ATF and the Justice Department in Western Michigan. That's in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. Now, this case is really important because it's more than just about bump stocks. I mean, clearly, any Second Amendment infringement is worth fighting over. But this bump stock ban actually defines AR-15s and other semi-automatic rifles as machine guns. We've explained this in some detail in our previous email alert, so I'm not going to go into that right now. But these regs are a ticking time bomb. I mean, I doubt that the Trump administration will come for your AR-15s, but you can bet that an Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders administration might. So that's why this case is really, really important. Anyway, last week we had a mini victory in our bump stock case. The ATF tried to delay the case and put off our request for a preliminary injunction on the ban. And the ATF was basically saying, look, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. We don't want to send our attorneys into court while our attorneys are out of work, vacationing down in Aruba or wherever they go during a shutdown. So can we please have a stay, a delay on the case? This is what they were saying. Of course, we said absolutely no way. Look, we're in the middle of a 90-day turn-in period. You have 90 days, actually less now, to relinquish your property that is protected by the Second Amendment. So that's why we're asking the court for a preliminary injunction. We're asking the court to set aside the ATF ban on bump stocks while we litigate this case. And this is important because our case could take months, even years. So what happens if we win, say 2 years from now, but every gun owner has destroyed their bump stocks at the end of the confiscation period, or lost them in a boating accident or something like that? See, it's important not to let the ATF say, oh, let's just put off this case until Trump puts everyone back to work. Trump has said this shutdown could go months or even years. Now, I don't think it'll go years, but it could go beyond the 90-day confiscation period. So if the court were to grant the ATF a stay on our lawsuit, it could give gun grabbers and the ATF a victory by default. So that's why we quickly made our arguments before the court, and we told them there was no way we'd support a delay. So here's the good news. Last week, drum roll please, the court denied the government's motion and they sided with GOA's position. There will be no stay on the GOA lawsuit. Our request for an injunction is moving forward, and so this is great news. I mean, this means that ATF lawyers have to return from the beach, get back to work, and get into court to defend their ban against our arguments. I mean, like I said, it's a mini victory, but still, it's exciting stuff. But obviously, we still have a long way to go on this. But I want to thank groups like the Virginia Citizens Defense League, the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Oregon Firearms Federation, Bama Carry, the New Hampshire Firearms Coalition, and really the thousands of individual gun owners who have contributed to GOA, specifically to this case, and they're partnering with us to fight these ATF regs. I want to thank you all so much. I mean, your support is greatly appreciated, and it's really making a difference. So that was the good news item that you probably didn't hear about in the news. Now back to the subject that I mentioned earlier. I told you we have a silver bullet to hopefully defeat all the gun control that Nancy Pelosi is going to throw at us this year. And I'm talking about concealed carry reciprocity, which is the bill introduced by Representative Richard Hudson of North Carolina. Now, as you may remember from last year, it's constitutional carry friendly, and this year's bill has the same number, H.R. 38. So this is a bill that gun owners really need to get behind. It's a great bill, and we're asking you to send a pre-written letter to your congressman urging them to co-sponsor the bill. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking at this point, why should I ask my congressman to co-sponsor a bill that's just going to be relegated to Nancy Pelosi's dungeon? Well, let me tell you why. Because Hudson's reciprocity bill is the key to killing all gun control. I mean, it really is our best chance to prevent Second Amendment restrictions from ever getting to President Trump's desk. And I say that because we've used it before. In 2013, concealed carry reciprocity was the silver bullet that we used to help us kill the entire Obama gun control agenda in the Senate. Remember the days right after the Sandy Hook tragedy? The entire media establishment was convinced that gun control was going to pass, but we killed it by using the concealed carry reciprocity bill. You can actually go to our alert from this week and see the details about how we killed Obama's gun control that year. I won't get into the weeds right now on that, but all to say, reciprocity is our best weapon right now. We have more than 50 votes in favor of it in the Senate. And we've already seen that Chuck Schumer and Dianne Feinstein will kill their own gun control proposals if we're able to get reciprocity passed and tack it onto one of their bills as a killer amendment, because they hate reciprocity. They hate people like you and me carrying guns. And I'm sure, they'd probably even shut down the government if they had to prevent concealed carry reciprocity from passing. So this is our silver bullet to stop the rush for gun control this year. Now, speaking of gun control, what kind of firearm restrictions are coming down the pike? Well, we're already seeing universal background checks. We're seeing red flag gun confiscation orders as two of the early favorites from the anti-gun left. Now, regarding the first one, universal background checks. If that were to pass, you wouldn't be able to exercise your Second Amendment protected rights to purchase a firearm either from a dealer or from your neighbor without getting permission from the government. Universal background checks basically is just a fancy way of saying gun bans. But that's not all. In the other chamber, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida has introduced red flag gun confiscation orders. That bill is S7. The Rubio bill probably has the best chance of passing and represents the greatest danger, really, that we're going to face this year in the Congress. And, the fact that Rubio is doing this is really infuriating. He was elected to the Senate with the support of Florida gun owners. He was elected with the support of the Tea Party. And so, this is a total betrayal, because red flag gun grabs have no place in a free society. Look, there can be no real due process wherever red flag gun confiscation orders exist, because stripping you of your constitutional rights in the middle of the night, not because you've committed a crime or would ever commit a crime, but because you've been subjectively determined to be dangerous, that's inherently a violation of due process. That sounds like Minority Report, right? That's what happened to a 60-year-old man in Maryland. Authorities showed up at his home at 5 in the morning to take his guns, and he's dead, all because of Maryland's unconstitutional gun confiscation law. So, Gun Owners of America is going to be opposing these red flag gun grabs wherever they get introduced, whether it's at the federal level, at the state level. We plan to be there. But you can be sure that these restrictions are just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're also going to be seeing the rest of Michael Bloomberg's playbook, like so-called assault weapon bans, bans on gun part kits, even more onerous gun control than that. We'll probably see it all this year. But GOA is going to be there to rally the grassroots to oppose these bills and more. That's our commitment to you. But anyway, back to our secret weapon that I was talking about earlier, concealed carry reciprocity. I want to encourage you, please take action. Urge your representative to co-sponsor H.R. 38, the reciprocity bill that is constitutional carry friendly. And not only that, the bill will help people who live in anti-gun states to get, because what they can do is get an out-of-state permit to carry in their home state. This bill is a great bill, so please use the link provided to send an email to your representative. You can do it with just a couple clicks of your mouse, and we give you pre-written text that you can easily edit if you want and then send it off to your representative. So that's it for now. I want to encourage you, be sure to catch me on some upcoming live streams this week that I'm going to be on with some YouTubers. I'll be with Guns and Gadgets on Wednesday at 6 p.m. That's Eastern Time. And later in the week, I'll be on with Tim from the Military Arms Channel. Some of you probably know Tim is one of the plaintiffs on our bump stock case. So be sure to tune in. You'll be able to ask questions, chat with us. We'd love to have you. So again, that's Guns and Gadgets. That's this Wednesday. And then be watching our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram pages because we'll alert people to when my appearance on the Military Arms Channel will be. So thanks for watching. Please share this with your pro-gun friends and family on your social media platforms. That will be a huge help. Thank you so much. Take care.